let's talk. A lot of people certainly know us as the puppy program as well, if nothing else. But
Hmm.
they may not know why we got started with dogs. You mind talking a little bit about why from day one you said we're going to have dogs as a part of this program?
Yeah, I would say two phases to that. One was my growing up. I do not remember ever being alive and not having a dog, all the way back to the first one that I can remember, whose name, it was a border collie named Spot. And I always had a dog. And most of them then were like English setters and Spot for hunting and those kind of things. And then my senior year, I found a dog. Actually, it found me. It walked up a board that was laying on the side of our house. We were building a barn, a shop, and had a bunch of cypress boards, and my window was open in the early fall, and a little dog was barking outside my room, or outside my bedroom in the yard. And I guess it smelled me or something. I don't know what that says about me, but it's like, I look out the window and it's just looking and it barks. And I said, come on. Well, it climbed up one of those boards into my room. So I got dressed and I took it next door to the gas station. And because I assumed somebody was getting gas and the dog got out and it got left. And I asked them and nobody had a clue. They had not seen anybody with a dog. So I said, well, I'll keep it until we can find the owner. And my dad had a barber shop and people in and out all the time. And we went 3 weeks. And then I decided somebody must have dumped this dog and it's going to be mine. It was my dog for 12 years. And it was phenomenal. Jack Russell mix of a little 16-pound dog. And that was during the time of my senior year in high school, all the way through college, all the way to getting married, all the way to having our first child. So it really covered a lot of big life transitions. And it was not different than dogs I'd had earlier, but it was deeper. And so that's the first phase of it. Second phase is when I became a therapist, and I would be doing a lot of work with women that had been sexually assaulted. And in that work, this is in the 90s, and in that work, if they were all alone and did not have a support system of human beings, I would ask about a dog. And once in a while, you'd have somebody that had one and that dog was super important to them. But most of the time, they didn't. And so if their sexual abuse had been seductive, I would talk to them about getting a golden retriever or a Labrador retriever, a retriever type that would be loving and trusting and, something that they could depend on and all that, but very calm. If it had been forcible abuse, as in a forcible rape, I would look more toward a defender type dog if they did not have a support system, like a German Shepherd. And a German Shepherd is an awesome breed. And people that don't like them don't know them well. They've got that misunderstanding that you see in the media that they're just these police dogs that attack people. They're actually one of the best family dogs, that there is out there. And man, when it was someone that was having flashbacks and intrusive memories and could not sleep, and so many people that I worked with that they were probably not going to make it, they got suicidal, et cetera, because they were so tired. It seemed to be that most of that was forcible abuse. And if they would get a defender dog, which wasn't always a German Shepherd, but that's the one that I recommended, I became a really good therapist for those clients because they got to sleep. And when you look at the theory of EMDR, it's based on the bilateral brain stimulation assimilates REM sleep. So the idea is that REM sleep is where we process a lot of the trauma. And so having that German Shepherd lay on the pet cot or the pet mattress beside the person's bed, which wouldn't take but about 3 or 4 days, they started sleeping because they knew there was something in the room that was going to be alert to anything that happened and that they were safe. And so that's when the decision that for Capstone, if God let us have it someday, that I was going to do that kind of canine therapy, because it was not, here's the therapy dog that sits with you, which is great, but the therapy dog stays with the therapist. It was, here's the dog that's with you that goes home with you. And so from the very beginning, I'd already been doing that for 7 or 8 years in my private practice with a lot of success, and I knew that that would be so important for our guys.